Hi everyone, it's Lisa Lee here. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to finish off our topic on Roe versus Wade. Obviously, it's a pretty controversial topic, and we discussed it on one of our live videos if you happen to see that. But this is the finishing product of that. So here we go. Enjoy.
Because they wanted to know.
Yeah, it's an open book now, right? Nothing's private anymore.
That's what they're telling us.
Thanks to Mr. Clarence, what's his face? And my 14th Amendment rights that have been reverbaged.
The morning talk show, The View, Whoopi Goldberg is on that. She is the host. Right. And she's not pleased with the Supreme Court as of late. And she called out Clarence Thomas on the show and said, you better hope they don't come for you next. Because she's a black woman and she can say that to a black man regarding some of the other things like segregation or whatever. Like she was alluding to, watch out. Like, you started this, you better be able to finish it.
Right.
It was kind of an interesting little thing that happened there.
Yeah, it's kind of weird though. Whoopi standing up for something that's really right.
Well, yeah, I mean, so many people are because of just the domino effect that it has. It's ridiculous.
I said this before. I'm like really surprised how many men are behind this 100%. Like, so
I think some men are also very fearful because it's going to start to demand more women demanding paternity, demanding funds before the baby's even born. It's going to be, a lot more of that type of thing. And it's going to just change how a lot of stuff is done. So they're not all for that. And if they are dating and trying to be sexual and the women are going to not be interested in that, well, then that's a burden on them.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I mean, I don't know if condoms are considered contraception or not. We don't know. We have to let them tell us. We don't know anymore.
Yeah.
So
I'm just like, I'm baffled by all. I can't even believe it. I'm just like stunned. But I have a feeling it'll go back. It's going to take a minute. It'll go back. There's way too many people against this.
I don't know how, but with those judges, they're not going to change their mind. Well, so, if it goes back, it has to only go back when they leave their seat and a different person comes in that disagrees with them.
Well, it can be brought to the Supreme Court.
Right. I mean, it could, but you're going to have to have, you're going to have, I think, is a case of somebody dying from something like an ectopic pregnancy. And then that goes to where they have to put the specifics to the words about miscarriage, ectopic, like things like that, add stuff like incest, rape. They're going to have to add the words and, they're going to have to do something like that. I think that's going to be the best bet with the federal level, in my opinion, but also for the states level, I think it's going to be shitty because it could constantly rotate depending upon who your representatives are. As the governors, the senators, and your reps change, you could forever have it in, have it out, have it in, have it out. Like it could be, and I think that's too chaotic to live like that. You just have it be the same thing straight across the board.
Right.
Let me tell you what Whoopi said, because it's fascinating. So she said, what is coming next as Clarence Thomas is signaling they would like to get rid of contraception. And she said, do you understand, sir? No, because you don't have to use it. You better hope that they don't come for you, Clarence, and say you should not be married to your wife, who happens to be white, because that is under the 14th Amendment too, sir. And we all noticed how you've avoided that one. She also then went on to say that the court might want to revive the 3/5 clause applying to enslaved people. We were not in the Constitution either, Mr. Thomas. We were not even people in the Constitution. You better hope that no one says you're not in the Constitution. You're back to being a quarter of a person, because that's not going to work either.
Wow.
And she's right, because he's trying to go back to the word for word of the Constitution. She's dead ass right. You are specifically excluded, sir.
That's right.
The whole 14th Amendment came about because black men were not being treated equally. So he wants to get rid of all the parts of it except for the parts that pertain to him. You can't do that. And I mean, it's really getting like, what you can't pick, cherry pick. You can't do that. And then tell us it's all or nothing.
Really just him though? I mean,
it's him, and he's calling it out, and then they have to all judge on it.
Well, why are they agreeing with him?
Well, they agreed on the Roe v. Wade. They agreed on the New York thing, but on the New York thing, it was a lot less of agreement. I mean, it's just what's so bothersome also this time around is it's not like, oh, pro-life, some religious, you're killing a baby thing. They're not even saying that. They're just about power and control.
Right.
Because they're going after all that part and component of it. Like this weird, that's what's really disgusting about it this time around too. Yeah. It's like, if your loved one it's medically necessary and they're in crisis, what are the poor people in these rural states and far away from a major city, thousands of miles away from where they could have a safe procedure, what are they going to do?
Yeah.
Like, that's not fair at all. That's and it's not their fault that they're this, they could have been wanting that child. So I don't know. Wow. And you really can talk about what consenting adults can do in the privacy of their bedroom.
Yeah, that how are they even, this is just, to me, this has just gone crazy. It's ridiculous. So, okay, so if I were to live with a woman, you're going to assume I'm sleeping with her? Is that just the way it is? I mean, we're having sex, you and I. I mean,
right, exactly.
Just on the internet alone.
Right, it's very happening on the net.
We're rumored to be, involved that way. And just, again, for the record, it doesn't offend us, but to let you know, Kendra is my blood cousin. That's it. We're both married.
Yeah, unfortunately, you don't, get to know what we do.
Yeah. And we, unless we decide to tell you.
Right.
It's our privacy.
But if I wanted to marry my cousin, there's a rule against that.
Oh, I think there is, isn't there?
Yeah, there actually is.
Well, we must have to overturn that now, don't we?
I swear to God, they start doing that crazy stuff, and it's like, okay, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what they're trying to accomplish at that point.
It's kind of like, that thing has gone a little too far.
Yeah, I mean,
just the talk has gone too far with that.
It's so bizarre.
It really is. That should just make everybody see how stupid all of this is right now.
It is.
I always have a problem with the shouting out of, I'm this, I'm that, whether you're straight, bi, gay, whatever. Because to me, honestly, it's like shouting out who you're sleeping with, right? And
yeah,
I don't want to know who you're sleeping with. I don't care. If you love who you love, that's great. If you're sleeping with a man, a woman, the same sex, opposite, I don't care. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm saying I'm not judging you. But I don't need to know, because the way I was brought up, what happens in the bedroom is private, And I know some people don't think that way and didn't live that way, and I get it, whatever. But to me, that's still, it's of a private nature. Your sexual escapades are of a private nature. It doesn't need to be shouted out to the world. It doesn't matter if you're straight, bi, gay, whatever. It just doesn't matter.
We don't have to prove what we're doing or not doing.
Yeah, and I just think that, and it really doesn't need to be a political thing. Like, since when? What? Can't you guys just worry about, taxes and, inflation and all that stuff? Like, why are you jumping into that? You know what I mean? Like, just stay out of it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's why what we're doing goes into the contraception, and it goes into the gay marriage, and I know
it also goes into equal rights and stuff. It's like, give everybody equal rights, and then just...
You realize right now that an inanimate object, that being a gun, has more rights than women?
Yeah, and that's pretty sick.
Right. That's like what they're doing, they're going to attack women first, which is the stupidest move they could possibly make. I've even seen a lot of gay men saying, okay, it's our time now. Our whole lives, women have stood up and fought with us and for us. We now have to stand up for them. Like,
That would be true.
you know? So,
no, I mean, not that I'm saying it would be true that we did.
right.
Women, more so than anybody, stood up for the gay men that were around. You know, and that's going back into the 60s and 70s. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I remember my aunt being young, Nancy, and going to Studio 54, and I mean, she met lots of. She loved gay men, loved them. She thought they were like the best girlfriends to have. I mean,
my parents had friends that were gay men and women.
Oh, yeah.
I grew up with them, and it was fine. It was like,
I mean,
it was just sort of said to me at such a young age. I just accepted it, and that was that.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, it was definitely new, because it wasn't something that we saw all the time.
Right. It wasn't common like it is now.
Yeah, it's totally common now. I mean, some people might think like, oh, that's so strange. But, it's common now. Like younger people than me, to them, it's common, And I don't really, it doesn't bother me, And I think everybody should have equal rights. And once everybody has equal rights, then maybe they should just, forget getting into people's business and literally like just concentrate on,
Well, what they try to do is scare you away from it too. By like, when I said I was all for let the gays get married, I don't fucking care. Why is it going to bother me in the least? And they said, because it affects your marriage. And I said, oh, it does? How? They're not coming to my house or my bedroom or paying my bills or having the fight about who did the dishes. Marriage? How is it affecting mine? And they go, insurance. And I said,
what?
Insurance. I said, well, but on our insurance, we can add a dependent or spouse, however the wording might be. And now they get to also. Yeah, why does that affect my insurance? Like it doesn't. Like, and they're really saying, oh, well, you could potentially lose yours. I said, how? Just because they're married. Like, I dug and pinned, and I really went after it. And it was bullshit, but they were trying to say, because the people who are going to scam just to get insurance and make it harder for everybody else. I'm like, no, it won't. It will not.
Do they think that straight people don't scam for insurance too? I mean,
yeah, I may have even been one of those people once upon a time.
I'm not saying that. I'm just thinking, do only gay people do that? I mean, right.
That was my whole thing. Like, so because a man lives with another man, they're going to claim gay, and they're going to bother to go all the way to the courthouse and sign documentation to get insurance and pretend to be gay. Okay, well, good for them if that's what they're cool with doing, I guess. I don't know what else to tell you. That's how fucked up this country is, that's how bad it is to get health insurance and to get taken care of when you're ill. That two men who may not even be gay, who are friends, don't give a shit what people think about calling them gay, even when they're not, are willing to do that for each other to get health care properly. So maybe you fix that. Then you don't have to worry about the scam and try to frighten me away from not voting for it or whatever, because I could potentially lose mine. But I mean,
well, then that makes me ask, why is the government so concerned about an insurance company? Like, hang on a second. Shouldn't it be the insurance company that should be concerned about that? Why is the government concerned about that?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I think we'll end it with that. That's the end of our part 2 from Roe versus Wade. Thank you all for joining us. And this does bring us into our topic for our next video with insurance companies for tomorrow. But thank you. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day.